Hi, Dan Whittaker here. I'm doing the first instalment of a weekly analysis that I'm going to be doing on the website of the weekly winner. Now this week we're doing the previous tournament's winner, which was John Senden. So we see that with John's swing, we see a golf swing that's very much arm dependent in the backswing here. In the first move away, we will notice that the hand and the club move away a little bit independent of the body here. So during this first move here, we see that the club head has moved a long way comparative to where the chest and the shoulders have moved. So it's not up there in terms of the modern take on the golf swing with the one-piece takeaway where the arms, the body and the club are all moving away as a unit together. This is very much an independent arm move. What we notice as well with John is that as he gets it up halfway back, it's a much steeper backswing than a lot of players are currently getting. So we see that the golf club would actually be pointing down in between his feet and the base of the plane line at the bottom right here. Now this then leads to a position at the top where we notice that the left arm is steep of the shoulder plane. It's hard to truly see this because the camera's kind of not quite fully down the foot line, but we do notice that his arms are a little bit steep compared to where a lot of players would be with the driver, where it's much more across the shoulders. We notice this because we can see a lot of the edge of the shoulder sticking here through between the arms. Now what I'm going to do is split the screen right here. And bring John in with the iron. Now, once again, what we notice is very much the same look in the takeaway where the arms are moving very much independent of the body. So they move away and separate a little. So as we get towards the top, we notice a very much more of an upright type move, but the arms are very much staying in front of him, so they never get stuck behind him. This is the thing that I believe makes John's swing work so well. It's what makes him hit his irons so solidly, but not necessarily making him particularly send it out there that far off the tee. Now, we see here at the top there's pretty upright position for him here, and not actually that much depth in terms of turn and space created with the hips here. You know, if he was really going to start to look for a bit more distance, he'd probably look to wind those hips up a little more and shallow out that backswing plane. This would probably give him a little more power with the driver, but wouldn't necessarily improve things with the irons that much. It would be a bit of a long process. So for his golf swing, the fit that he's got at the moment works great. Now what we see is on the way through, get two very different releases on the go here. With the driver on the left hand side, we can see how the arms pull it down. It actually starts with a bit of a drive of the knees towards the target, which actually creates this little bit of downcock for him. So he gets the slight lateral shift from the knees. Okay, and then it creates this bit of a downcock and with quite a lot of lag. But he's got quite a steep angle with the golf shaft quite here. So what he has to do is on this particular one, it looks like he's hitting a bit more of a kind of fade based off the fact that he's holding it off a lot more. See the face comes in relatively quite open there, but you know, we know that it's been held off here a lot more, and that butt's inverting upward to touch. It looks like it's a kind of a feeling of an anti-left move for him because the club's coming in quite steep there. So if he released it on this kind of path a little early, we might get it where it's, you know, starts left and goes left. So this is kind of a bit of a hold off cut he's hit right here. But we can see how the hands are working up, and we notice this from the address position. If we highlight where the golf shaft is at address, we notice that as he gets into impact here, that golf shaft has worked upwards a fairly significant amount. So it's kind of, he's particularly holding this off a little more with the hands. What we notice here on the right with the iron is that as he starts down, the same downcock, and it's very, very steep again. This one has got a lot more release in it, so you can see how quickly that both wrists or the base of both forearms look like they begin to touch. The butt is facing the camera, and very quickly those hands, the club head has passed those hands right here. And it's quite significant to actually see that through the impact here, it is very much the arms working independent of the body motion. Now the reason that he can get away with this is because the arms are so in front of him at the top here, they stay in front all the way down, so he doesn't actually ever end up stuck. So it allows him to play with a slightly independent arm motion, but because he doesn't have the blend of the arms and the body together, he is definitely losing a bit of yardage, proven by the fact that his PGA Tour stats are showing that he's a 86 currently ranked in terms of driving distance, but he's quite high up there in terms of he's 30th in greens in regulation. Okay, so that's showing it with the fact that he hits his irons, probably squashes down on them a little bit more, and he's able to hit those quite nicely with a little bit more compression. Well, we have a look here with the iron from this front view here. What we notice is, first of all, we see that the head slightly moves to his right off the golf ball, so it nudges across, and then we can see here very, very evident the lack of the one-piece takeaway, where the chest is over in this direction here. We can actually see how much further on that club is relative to his sternum. If we now take him on further in the backswing, notice how the head stabilises itself, and he stays very centred and quite on top of the golf ball. So this is probably a mid-iron that he's going to be hitting down on a little bit more. Then we notice this little bit of a move from the knees towards the target here, which then, that's what facilitates the downswing for him. That and a slight shift in the pelvis towards the target creates bit more lag for him here, but a lot of that lag move is produced from the arms, and the fact that because he drives the legs, the arms work very aggressively to try and get in towards the body. As that happens, because they're coming in from quite a decent height, it creates this bit of lag for him. He then comes through with loads of angle here, strikes pretty down on this one, but it's not overly down on it. As he kind of comes up, we see as he comes in towards impact here, it's quite interesting. His head actually works upwards a touch through the golf ball. See as it's just gone upwards a little there from the top of the backswing. That's to make room for the golf club, because we know from down the line that his hands go upwards at impact. So if his head stayed in position, he'd obviously catch the ground a little bit early. So his head has to go up to allow him to play with the release that he's got. But the way that this works so well for him is the fact that because his arms are in front of him all the way throughout his golf swing, he's able to keep the club swinging in space in front. It's never stuck behind him, so therefore he never has to fight the golf club. I think that if he started to turn and blend the arms and the body motion a little bit more, we could probably see him get a little bit more power and potentially have a little bit more control over his shot shaping. But he obviously does a great job by the fact that he won last week. Overall, I think he does. It's a lot of things that people can take out of this as positives for their own game, in terms of learning how to keep the arms in front of the body. For my liking, it's a little bit too steep in the backswing, and there's way too much independent arm movement. I would prefer to see his golf swing with his arms and his body matched together. But overall, he does a great job of never being stuck, which is a problem we often hear really good players saying that they've been stuck. It's obviously not something we see that much in John's game, but I think if he started to release the golf club a bit more aggressively, we'd probably see him hit a few left shots with the long clubs. Now, I hope you enjoy this analysis. Please visit my website for regular updates on my weekly winners, also my blog section, and you'll also be able to follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook page, which are getting regular updates all the time. Thanks a lot.